Hello and welcome to the history of Star Trek. Today's episode will be covering Annorax. And here we go. Annorax was a Krenim officer and a brilliant temporal scientist who, utilizing his understanding of time, obsessively embarked on a mission to restore the Krenim Empire to power. In the year 2170 AD, the Krenim Empire was in decline due to losing a war with the Relnir. At the time, Annorax was living on Krenim Prime with his wife. Realizing that their war with the Relnir could not be won by conventional means, Annorax developed a weapon capable of pushing elements out of the space-time continuum, thereby creating an alternate timeline where the elements never existed. If used against a species, it created a causality paradox in which history changed as a result of non-existence of that species. With this weapon as a centerpiece, he constructed the Krenim weapon ship, assembled a crew, and set about restoring the Krenim Imperium to its former glory. The first target eliminated by Annorax was the Relnir, and initially his weapon achieved spectacular results. However, he had failed to take into account all the consequences of the temporal incursion, one of which was a plague that devastated the Krenim. To correct his error, Annorax ordered a second incursion, and in doing so, accidentally eliminated the colony on Krenim Prime, and with it his beloved wife. A lock of her hair was the only trace Annorax had left. Stricken by grief, Annorax struggled in vain over the next 2 centuries to restore Krenim Prime. He oversaw the repeated disappearance and restoration of billions of people over thousands of worlds, but he was never able to accomplish the full restoration of either the Imperium or his wife. From each civilization he removed from history, Annorax collected a sample of their culture to be stored aboard a ship. As the years passed, Annorax came to believe that time itself had colors and moods, and that it was pushing him for his hubris by withholding his wife from him. Therefore, irrespective of his guilt over eliminating so many civilizations, he refused to relent in his mission until he forced time to return his wife to him. Meanwhile, there was growing frustration and dissent among Annorax's crew over their repeated failures and their prolonged separation from their families. This tension escalated dramatically in 2374. When Annorax refused to end their mission after they achieved an unprecedented 98% restoration following the erasure of the Zal. His reasons were obvious enough. Part of the 2% that had not been restored included Krenim Prime. His subsequent incursion against the Gernor was a disaster due to the USS Voyager's temporal shields. Annorax was able to abduct Chakotay and Tom Paris to the weapon ship, though Voyager escaped his attempt to erase it from history. Since he was unable to locate Voyager, Annorax proposed a collaboration to Chakotay and Paris, where they would find a way to use the temporal weapon to aid both the Krenim and Voyager without destroying any additional species. Chakotay was at first sympathetic to Annorax's situation, though he did decide to work with Paris to foment a mutiny with Annorax's first officer, Oberus, after Annorax eliminated another species. Shortly after, Oberus disabled the ship's temporal core during an attack by Voyager and 5 Mauskai and Ninth Dawn ships. Annorax ordered Voyager to be destroyed, but he was too late as Captain Catherine Janeway rammed her ship into the weapon ship. But as Annorax witnessed his wife's lock of hair vanish into the mists of time, he suddenly realized that his final goal was about to come true. The collision destabilized the temporal core, erasing the weapon ship itself from history. This restored the original timeline before Annorax had constructed the ship, reuniting Annorax with his wife on Krenim Prime. In this restored the timeline, Annorax decided not to continue his efforts to build the ship, deciding to spend more time with his wife. Hey, thank you for watching the history of Star Trek. Special thanks to Memory Alpha and all contributors for all information you heard today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you can. If you have, thank you. And have a nice day. Bye-bye.